The Khyber Pass, an ancient gateway between mountains, carved by time and soaked in history. Traders, warriors, and kings once marched through its narrow roads. But the locals tell another story. They whisper of voices that ride upon the wind, voices that call out at night, warning travelers to turn back. Are these merely echoes of the past? Or something darker, still alive in the shadows? Tonight, you and I will step into the silence and listen to the whispers of Khyber. The Khyber Pass, an ancient gateway between mountains, carved by time and soaked in history. Traders, warriors, and kings once marched through its narrow roads. But the locals tell another story. They whisper of voices that ride upon the wind, voices that call out at night, warning travelers to turn back. Are these merely echoes of the past? Or something darker, still alive in the shadows? Tonight, you and I will step into the silence and listen to the whispers of Khyber. Back in those ancient times, this scenic pass was bustling with a lively community of caravans. Traders would often make a stop at one of the many roadside inns to rest, while camping fires would light up the evenings, making the surroundings warm and inviting. And music, oh, the beautiful melodies would resonate throughout the hills, filling the air with an enchanting aura. Of course, even in those seemingly peaceful times, there was a certain level of fear that seemed to pervade the air, as fear of being followed by some unknown entity lurked in everyone's mind. Travelers would often make the heart-wrenching vow that they would never venture alone under the darkness of the night. Witnessing this growing trend, the inns rapidly began to become deserted, as the firefights which once adorned their ceilings would slowly fade out, leaving only the eternal silence to reside there. On a tumultuous night, as reverberating thunder echoed through the distant mountains, a solitary traveler staggered onto the rocky terrain. Overwhelmed by the rain, his clothing was saturated, while his weak lantern flickered in the darkness. Despite his precarious situation, his unyielding determination to explore the unknown was apparent. The villagers, however, cautioned him against remaining within the old, abandoned rest house after midnight, for strange, haunting voices would emerge and disrupt his journey. Undeterred by their warning, the traveler persisted, deeper into the eerie woods. With each additional step, the air seemed to grow colder, as if the rest house itself was outraged by his presence. Even as he braved the haunting whispers that echoed about the premises, he could feel the weight of his own fear growing. At the very beginning, there was nothing. There was just complete silence, dense and suffocating, feeling like a weight upon him. He took out his bag, grabbed a candle, and turned it on. With the flicker of the candle's light as his guide, he carefully approached the source of that strange sound. Then, all of a sudden, something began. A barely audible whisper. At first, it appeared to be the wind gently blowing. But as he listened closely, he began to notice it was truly calling his name. Hey, come closer. Come closer. His heart was pounding wildly. He turned around. There was nothing there. Yet, the voice was practically breathing against his ear so close. It was unbearable. Feeling uneasy at the feeling, he cautiously stepped closer. The source of that voice was now almost right in front of him. In search of answers, he ventured into the vast, expansive room. The walls were crisscrossed with cracks, and the air was thickly cloaked with dust. Interestingly, one wall displayed a shattered mirror, its surface now permanently darkened with the passage of time. He cautiously raised his lantern, casting its warm light on the surroundings while shaking his head. As he did so, an eerie reflection suddenly appeared on the shattered surface. A monstrous combination of words, as if the wall had been plagued by an invisible scribe. With his lantern flickering, he found himself staring into the darkness. When he turned around, all he saw was an empty, eerie room, devoid of any trace of the presence of others. The only thing that could be heard was the faint, haunting whispers. They seemed to become louder and more persistent with each passing second. Simultaneously, the whispers could be heard moving in from all directions, merging together and gradually intensifying, as if to overpower him completely. Even though there was no one present, the eerie whispers seemed to envelop him. Every move and echo of his presence felt like an invasion. In his own imagination, he could only perceive otherworldly beings, whispering words of warning and disapproval. As the whispers continued to encompass him, he became overwhelmed by their intensity, and all sense of reality slowly faded from his mind. Panic swept over him as he felt the overwhelming weight of the world upon his shoulders. His once calm mind was now filled with chaos and disarray as he frantically grabbed his bag and darted, trying to outdo his footprints echoing without bounds in the endless, seemingly infinite corridors. Each door he desperately tried to shut with all his might. Before he could reach, it seemed about to slip from his grasp entirely. The steady growth of the haunting whispers quickly transformed into deafening screams that enveloped him. He only caught fleeting, brief glimpses of creatures, tall, masked figures, lurking far down the hallway, creeping ever closer and closer towards him. No matter how fast he attempted to sprint, they appeared to be right beside him, right there, lurking and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Today, travelers still avoid the rest house. Some claim that if you walk alone through the Khyber at night and stand still long enough, you'll hear them, the whispers, calling you, pulling you closer. And once you listen, you may never return. So tell me, if you ever find yourself in the Khyber Mountains when the wind grows silent, would you dare to listen to the whispers?